Hello, this is Angel Casiano, counselor at Wonderfully Med. I am so glad that you have decided to give yourself a chance to feel better, to embrace wellness in your life. And definitely there will be no wellness unless we address our emotional issues, our emotional challenges. So we're going to be doing a temperament analysis. I am going to have 3 sessions with you. What is temperament analysis? It's different from a personality test. See, sometimes our personalities can become masked. We act certain way when we are at work. We act certain way when we are with our families, with our friends. And pretty much we are acting, we are putting on a mask that we I guess it's necessary for you to be able to survive in your job and to survive in general. You adopt these things. Actors are not only in Hollywood. We become actors ourselves. The problem is that sometimes we feel certain pressures. We feel stress or anxiety and we feel that our needs are not being fulfilled. And we need to look deeper on who we are. And when you discover who you really are, you discover why you feel certain ways. And there is nothing wrong with you. You just need to know who you are. Okay, so you are going to receive a quiz. Okay. And when you receive that quiz, you're going to have the link, you're going to receive the email. And all you have to do is answer those questions 100% honest. Not in a way of this is who I'm trying to be, but who you really are. Answer those questions and be 100% honest. After you complete the quiz, a couple of days after that, I will receive the results of your temperament and I will email that to you. At that time, you will schedule the first session with me and we will go line by line discussing this temperament analysis. The temperament is going to cover 3 essential areas. Number 1 is inclusion. Inclusion is essentially your social life. We're going to be taking a look at your social life. We're going to be taking a look at control. That is your ability to make decisions and take responsibility for those decisions. Maybe you are a little controlling, or maybe you like others to take control over certain situations. This test is going to reflect who you are in this area. And we're going to be taking a look at the area of affection that has to do with your close friends, with your loved ones, with your wife, with your children, etc. And we're going to be looking at, characteristics on that particular area in your life. So again, we're going to analyze these areas line by line with you. At that moment, I will take any questions. I will take any comments. Maybe you agree, maybe you disagree. This analysis have a 98% accuracy, but there's still some areas where it's not accurate. So I need to talk to you and make sure that we get close to the truth as much as possible. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing in the first session. The second session is going to be about, I will sit down with you and then we're going to be discussing what are your needs on each one of these categories. Okay. Sometimes people feel miserable because there is a need that is not being fulfilled. It has nothing to do with being selfish or nothing. It's just a need. So we're going to identify what are the needs in each one of these categories: inclusion, control, and affection. And then we are going to come up with some strategies of how to fulfill some of those needs. Now, we will not have much time to do that because we only have 3 sessions, but at least you're going to know, okay, according to my temperament, this is what I need. For example, Phlegmatics. These are folks who are very detailed in what they do. But when a phlegmatic come home from work, they have to go to sleep. They're tired. They're worn out. A melancholic, for example, when they come back home, they don't necessarily go to sleep, but they need at least an hour for themselves. They don't need to come home and be taking care of the kids and all that. They just need a little break to kind of unwind and then go on by their business. When you know your temperament, you know these things, and these little things can make the difference. And then the third thing that we're going to do on the third session, we are going to identify what your cognitive distortions are. Cognitive distortion means there's some faulty thinking. There's ways of thinking that you have developed in your upbringing that are causing you some stress. Maybe you are the kind of person who needs to be right all the time. And it doesn't matter what the facts are, you are the one that you will argue to the end because you must be right. Well, we have to address that cognitive distortion. You might embrace a cognitive distortion, mind reading, which means that, you are the one that said, yeah, he's doing it on purpose. He knows exactly how to irritate me. And that person might not even be thinking about you. And again, we're going to go over these cognitive distortions, address them one at a time, okay? Cognitive distortions develop in our upbringing, okay? The way we grew up. It developed in our view of God. They develop also in our heroes, the people that we look up to, okay? These are things that that help us form the way we think. The cognitive distortions come straight out of our core values, okay? Those rules that we live by. We don't think about it, but they come straight out of our core values. So we're going to be looking at that, I have a client, for example, who have a strong cognitive distortion of always wanting to be right. And he almost got kicked out of a program. I work with him in a drug and alcohol program because, he could not take the idea of being wrong. And he argued, almost crossed the line, almost got disrespectful, almost got kicked out of the program. When I started working with him, I asked him where that come from. And he could not, figure it out right away. And that's the case because we don't think about these things. But I was trying to get down to the core. A couple of days after that, he came back to me for a session. And he said, Angel, when I was a kid, the kids used to make fun of me all the time. And in school, I was a little slow. And every time I answered the wrong questions, the kids would make fun of me. And I begin to develop this thing in the inside of me that, in order for people not to think that I am stupid, and he was called stupid when he was a kid, I have to be right. So he will fight and fight and fight. So we needed to reconstruct that cognitive distortion and say, hey, first of all, we are not perfect. And second of all, not because you are not right means that you're stupid. And we started working on that. So these cognitive distortions become a nightmare if you don't address them. And many people are not even aware that they exist. They are not even aware that they have ways of thinking that are faulty, that they need to be addressed with the facts. So when I finish these 3 sessions, I am going to write a counselor's report, okay? And in that counselor report, you're going to have everything. You're going to have your temperament. You're going to have your needs analysis. You're going to have your cognitive distortions, and you're going to have recommendations. You might be one that after this temperament analysis don't need anything else. That's fine. You can go on by your business. But you might realize that you have some things to work on. And then at that time, you decide if you want to continue a few more sessions with me to work through those things, to be able to truly develop a plan to address those needs and to truly begin to reconstruct those cognitive distortions. And that's where the work is at. Okay, so I hope that that this be a life-changing experience for you. If you have any questions, call me, email me. You can chat with me. There's different ways that you can contact me, but we are hoping that this process will be a great blessing to you. God bless you. Bye-bye.